Welcome to another episode of the Podcast. My host, myself, ELCHIPPYY, and my co-host, Avenge Wolf.
What up, everybody?
We do like to apologize. Rec is not here today. Rec is not here, but we had to get another episode out. He is a busy man. He is a lot of mysteries to you guys, and eventually he'll come on. We just don't know when. We were trying to push it to be sooner, but people are busy, lives are important, and this is just a fun hobby for us to do. And at the end of the day, y'all can suck it. I'm just kidding, but yeah, we're gonna talk about Dreamhack today. Some personal experience for myself. I'm not sure about Wolf here. I don't know if he has any personal
I
experiences
just
with
have
it.
outside perspective. I haven't applied for anything, so
Well, he should, because we are going to Atlanta. That is confirmed. We'll get into that in a little bit, though. Bad news turned into great news. I can tell you that much. But we can start from the beginning and then go forth. So, well, from my point of view, I applied when it first got released. And, I didn't expect to get in. I want to make that clear. I didn't expect to get in, but I did make all the plans to get in, and I did have a plan B if I didn't get in. A lot of people, I don't know if it was directed towards me per se, but it was directed towards others getting denied. I know that for sure. And a lot of people said this was a lot of entitlement when it really wasn't. I mean, a lot of people get disappointed when they get denied on things. I just think my situation is totally different from everyone else's. What I can say is don't give up. Just keep what you're doing. To these other streamers, you're doing great things. Just don't get disencouraged from all this. And moving forward.
I'd like to say that I don't. I know everybody goes in straight with oh, you're entitled. You're entitled. We're human, right? We get excited about things, and so yes, there's always a piece of entitlement in us when we're doing things and applying for things. It's just because we're human, and it does hurt to get rejected. Um, I think that we saw a lot of ugliness come out of it between those that got accepted, those that didn't. I saw a lot of communications, and yes, there are a piece of entitlement in somebody eventually. Like we all get that way, some form. It's just how we humble ourselves and move on, right? And so this entire situation where the rejection started coming out and people were getting in and things like that, we got to saw. It got to shed light on things. We got to see a new open line of communication. We got to learn new things. I didn't know it was one guy trying to check all the applications. I think that's very unfair to him, and it might be unfair to the creators because, and I seen he was trying to give 20 minutes per application, looking at streams, but you don't get to know somebody because you get in 20 minutes you get a perception that you see, and then that's the reality that you set forth, and that may not be fair because you might not have picked because it's content, right? We don't always make 100% perfect content. The 20 minutes that he checked out, or the clip that he checked out, might have been it might have been just one of your off days where you either ended the stream early or you just had an off day and you chilled or something, and then so his perception, you see how it's not fair to the creator, but it's also not fair to him to get a valid opinion on somebody. So we did get to see that, and that's just my perception. Right? That's just me looking in and seeing it, and it's just one guy working himself to death. I feel for him. I did think it was neat that he started opening up more communication. He did come in your chat and talk to you and address some things, and I'll let you cover that. But overall, I just saw people getting really nasty and putting their 2 cents into it, and I like looking at different things from different perspectives. But like where you lose me is when you have to insult somebody to get your point across. You lose me. No matter how right you are, you're wrong. That's my opinion. That's the way I see it. I don't care how right you are. You're wrong if you have to go to insulting somebody. Um, we're human. Rejection hurts. It sets us back. It discourages us. So instead of attacking the person, just sit back and say, okay, there's other opportunities. We could come together and talk about it. And there's some people that are just, again, so entitled that once they got the rejection, they go the wrong way. Well, that's fine. Let them go the wrong way. You don't have to stoop down to their level. Just like it's just a conversation like we're having right here. But Chippy, you can kind of review the guy coming into your chat and your experience.
Well, it was more of a like disappointment and a relief at the same time. Yeah, like one thing I want to make clear is it wasn't just small streamers bashing other streamers. It was big streamers that were like telling these smaller individuals and followings that like you shouldn't expect to go to an event. You shouldn't do this. Well, no, we don't. Well, at least from my point of view, I don't. I can't speak for others. This was going to be the first event I was going to go to, and I was going to spend at least, at the most, about $4,000 for the whole event to go there and get there. I'd be going with my girl and I, and the cost for two people is a lot, and that was the biggest thing. And like, I can't justify going to an event and add as a non-creator, and that was the plan from the start. If I didn't get in as a creator, I wouldn't be going, and that was the simplest thing. Like, no hard feelings. The only thing that like upset me is the reason why. The reason why I did not get accepted to Dreamhack was because of the fish. Was because of the fuck the fish, which is crazy to me. As I grow my brand and everything, it's not as prevalent as other things that's known. It's kind of moving out of my brand, but still there. You know, the occasionally the OG fans, the OG watchers, or whatever you want to call yourselves, will come in there and ask me to do it. And it costs 5 subs at the most. Because I don't want to have my brand all around that, but it is still part of the brand as terms of merch, et cetera, et cetera. But not to get off topic with that, go to fishtankmerch.com. Go check out our podcast merch, little simple plug right there. But
gotta have the shameless plug, baby.
we do. But no, it was very eye-opening when Bear of Twitch, I think that's what he goes by on Twitter. He is the director or community director of Dreamhack, where he is applying people to be in the partner program. And he did come apologize to me personally, talk to me a bit, ask me how we could fix things and moving forward. And he really did look over the whole fish thing. It's really just a meme at this point. We're not here to insult him. He's actually a really good guy. After speaking to him with over like about 2 hours, he was in my stream. Even off stream, we talked a little bit. All I gotta say is good words to him. But he did offer me to go to a Dreamhack Dallas, but by that time, I've already canceled all my plans. Like plan B went in motion. Like I said, it was not a huge deal. It was just a disappointment from the initial email and being like, wow, okay, well, what did I do wrong? But at the same time, it's like, whatever. We're moving on. We have plans for Atlanta. I did get confirmation I will be approved for Atlanta, which is good on their part. I was worried, like, am I just going to keep getting it denied just because of a fish? Am I going to have to get the fish out of the brand? No, I will never get rid of the fish. I will never.
It's that feedback that matters, though. Like, right? Like, okay, if I got rejected, and they send out like the mass email, and it's the same for everybody. But like, and I know it's hard. Again, it's one guy, and it's hard for him to go into detail with everybody. But like, what if he never would have talked to you? What if we wouldn't have got that explanation? Like, how would you know what?
They'd be like any other company.
Clarify?
They'd be like any other company.
You would just continue to get denied, and you wouldn't know why, and you wouldn't be able to either explain, or if it's just something small, like fix things or make things better, or maybe you needed to grow a little bit, whatever it might have been, you don't get that feedback. And realistically, and this goes for all content creators, you guys will never get better, you will never grow if you don't get feedback. Whether you like it or not, you need the feedback, because feedback makes us better in life, period. Feedback and being humble about it makes you better. But I want to get back on real quick. You're talking about how much it was going to cost you to go. Right, you laid out a budget that is with getting the creator badge. That's a budget with it, but that budget didn't include the extra $100, $200
it would have been like 240 after taxes. for
So
tickets.
a lot of people, they, you know what I mean. We live in a world where inflation's up, and it's really hard to budget that. And I want to go on that. Like, if you go look at an event, right? See an event that's coming up, make it a few months from now, and then start watching the hotels, just the hotels alone.
Oh
Start
yeah,
watching
they
hotels.
tripled in
Start
prices.
watching, yeah, watch it from, if you look at 3 months early, then look at 2 months, then look at a month, then look at a week before, and then look at the week of. Watch the prices get crazy, right? That's why people have to pre-plan it and be ready in the event that they get to go. That's why it hurts, right? It's disappointing because you did have to make the plans, because if you don't secure it now, your budget may not be able to suit the inflated prices at the time of the event, or a month later, or 2 months later, whatever. That's where I seen people were like, "Oh, well, you should just go." Well, they may not be able to afford the extra $200, $240 for 2 tickets or one ticket, how many ever they're getting.
So that's wait, hold on. That's another thing is like that's all the comments I was seeing about like these other creators is like, oh, you can still go to the event. And do you know like you don't know these other people's like financial situations? That's like an arrogant thing to talk about and say online, especially people you don't know. Is like you don't know their situation, so why are you speaking about it?
Yeah,
Like
and they could have been saving to for this chunk of it, and then that, you know what I mean? It's like planning for a vacation,
yeah,
and you got a set budget, and then all of a sudden a $500 bill gets thrown in there. That's not, not everybody just has an extra $500 laying around, and our life is too short. If all they can afford is this, and that would have been like a vacation for them, and but then all of a sudden this wrench is thrown in, and they can't afford that. You know what I mean? Now look at the disappointment that's going to end, because that was a vacation. That was time that they had planned off. That was something fun for them. And then you start commenting on money. $240 to some people may not sound like a lot of money, and some that's a ton of money. That's a portion of rent. That could have been 2-3 weeks of food. Like, you don't know their situation. I'm never gonna, when it comes to money, I will never comment on it, because I've made very little money and I've made good money. I've been at the lowest of low, and I've been on my highest of highs. So I will never comment on money, because I've had to budget vacations, and I've been able to go on whimsy, like just out of the blue, look at my wife and go, "Hey, jump in the car. We're going to take off." Like,
those are
I've
always
been
the
in both
best kind of
spectrums.
vacations
Yeah,
though.
but I've been in both those spectrums, and not everybody can do that, and people have to plan and budget. And I know they're like, "Well, if you're not financially stable, why should you do it?" Because you know what, this life is short, and if that's the little bit of fun they need to keep them going, let them fucking do it, and you shut your mouth. You shut your mouth about their situation,
Yeah.
because I'm telling you, I grew up very poor, cracked out parents, went through foster care. I didn't have like one of those awesome going places childhoods and shit like that. And so that way, when I see somebody in their 20s and they might have had a shitty childhood, and they're doing everything they can, and that little small vacation that cost them, it might have set them back, or it might have hurt, or they had to fucking scrape and save every penny to go, and somebody dare make a comment on it, you want to see me get fucking mad? That will send me into a rage. I don't fucking comment on money, because it's not my business. And if that piece of happiness will bring you joy to keep you going in this world just a little bit longer, then people can shut the fuck up.
I think that's like the craziest thing too is like it wasn't just like other small creators, it was like big creators commenting on this, like
Mm-hmm.
assuming that they were entitled to go. No, I don't think any creator was entitled to go. I just think it was just disappointing, and like that's okay. uh Even for myself, yeah, it was disappointing, but I shook it off. Like it was it's
Well, and
okay.
not everybody might have had a plan B. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, and don't get me wrong, if you were entitled and thought you deserved a ticket and you should go, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, welcome to the real world. Shit ain't the way you want it to be. Sorry. But if you had that disappointment and you voiced your disappointment, it's not anyone's place to judge you on your disappointment. You're allowed to be disappointed. You're allowed to be upset. And if you didn't go because you couldn't afford an extra $100 or $200 or whatever, that's okay. That is okay. I promise you. It is all okay. Nobody's entitled to judge you, and it's all good. I just saw the nastiness, and realistically, it revolved around the money, and I don't like that. I don't like talking money, because your situation ain't my situation.
It's like it's just crazy to me because they like uh we'll use me for an example. They'll like look at your leaderboards and be like, "Oh, he can afford it." Like how the fuck do you know if I can afford shit? Honestly, I still work a 9 to 5. You know, I still save to budget for these events. Yeah, it's a lot of risk on my end.
I
To
mean,
be
you
fair,
probably could have afforded the extra bit,
yeah,
but do you want to pay more? No,
no,
because you have other plans. You have other things. What people don't realize is you have a birthday subathon coming up this following week.
yeah,
Make sure you guys tune in. Kick.com/El
420
Chippy.
baby.
Two P's, two Y's. Check in with him. He's having a big birthday event. But here's the thing: is he's going on a vacation after the subathon.
Yeah,
So here's where it gets weird. Would he have been able to take? That's where that extra couple $100 comes in, because now you got two events right here at the same time: a vacation plus the Dreamhacks thing. That's where, like, people don't realize that all costs fucking money. So
mhm.
would you have to sacrifice the birthday trip to go to Dreamhacks that may or may not pay off for you, that may give you some connections, that
Yeah.
may help you grow, or it may not? Like those events are so weird. Once you go network where people, hell, they might seem they don't like you in real life. I don't know.
Or you
But
might
like
not like
that's,
them.
but again, you don't know Chippy's situation, just like you don't know anyone else's situation, and things like that. And that's where when people start talking about money, you have no right. That's just my
And
thoughts
before
on it.
people get this twisted, the subathon is not to pay for my vacation. The vacation's already paid for. Just so everyone's aware. The subathon is to celebrate my 1 year anniversary on Kick. I've been planning this for about 6 months now. It just
Mhm.
happens to fall in place of where we planned a second vacation at the end of the month. Uh, totally coincidence on that end, but this week has been planned for a while now, and if it goes longer than a week, fuck you guys. That's all I got to say. But
But
no,
yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
but again, that's somebody commenting on your situation that doesn't know, and it's where things get weird.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just
I mean,
ugly.
but realistically, they could say that you were doing it to pay for it, but that's kind of weird because your kick payout would technically come
It
after
it'd
you
come
already went on
during
vacation.
it.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
while you're going, like, and you've already got shit paid for.
yeah,
But like again, that's where you had to budget to plan the vacation. You
yeah.
had to budget to plan DreamHacks, and now you had to change it because you're technically going to have another mini vacation and go somewhere. But again, it's money. Somebody's commenting on your money, and it's not their right. You are a human. You're allowed to express your disappointment. You're allowed to express how you want, and it's no one else's entitlement to comment on that. And if you want to comment on it, again, you have free reign, but just expect the flack that you're going to get, because again, you should have looked at, like, I try to look at all perspectives before I insert myself or make any opinions. That's why I just stayed out of it, because I didn't apply for DreamHacks. I had no intentions of going because I'm not going to Texas. That'd be a hell of a trip for me. But at the same time, like, I just looked at all perspectives, right? And then I'm like, and of course, I saw some certain size folks get in, and I saw bigger folks and smaller folks, and then that's why, me looking outside, I was like, I wonder why Chippy didn't get in, because we didn't get feedback. Because it's weird, right? Because to me, you're a larger creator. Are you a Big E status and all these other guys? No, but to my level, I mean, hell, when I look at my viewers online, you're at the top because you have a lot of viewers, right? When I'm watching streams, you're always at top. It's, to me, you are a larger creator, and so, like, if you want to look at the folks that were getting in, there was people that pulled in smaller viewers, and now we find out it's the fish thing, and it was a misunderstanding, because again, that 20 minutes, that quick application, that run through that the guy's trying to do, because it's one man working by himself, which is unfair to him, and again, unfair to the content creators. He sees this niche of chippies. I don't know how to put it. The niche,
The
and
kink, some people
yeah,
like call it kink.
his kink, his weird stuff, and then he gets labeled weird, and boom, he's not going to DreamHacks. And realistically, it's just a funny thing, because we're dudes and we're idiots, and we think things are stupid and funny. We laugh at fart jokes and a guy humping a stuffed fish. It's funny.
I do think it's hilarious that it was the fish, and it's like, as soon as he told me, it was because it was like shatter of like emotions, because it, like my whole brand is really close to me, right? And like, as soon as you tell me something that my
About
brand
the
is,
brand,
yeah, about the
as you
brand,
risk.
yeah, like, you're telling me that my brand is a brand risk for Dreamhack. But like, if you were to like go to the website and look, and there's literally only one shirt that says the word fuck, and it was a custom shirt from Nacho Zombie. He literally drew it, and it was just one of those things, is like, if you may have reached out and asked, what's this fish about, instead of just assuming it like that's where it hurt me. Not getting denied, but the fact I found out it was about the fish, and that's where the misunderstanding came in. And we had a lengthy conversation, and like, no hate towards Bear. I think he's a great individual. I think the Creator Hub is going to do great things in the future, and I'm here now to give him ideas and help him how he can improve. It is like, as streamers, you need to be able to help companies like this, even if it's like they give you negative feedback, but if they're willing to reach out after the fact,
Well, let's look at the positivity that came out. We got to see that there is a flaw in the system.
Yeah.
It's not a perfect process. It's literally a dude just gonna run himself into the ground because he had 700 plus applications. And
Yeah, that's the
I
biggest
know
thing too.
everybody saw Nacho break down the time on what it would take and how many days he's been doing it. And realistically, that, like, I don't know if he's paid or not. If this is unpaid, I feel for him. Even if it's paid,
I'm pretty sure it's paid.
Money.
Pretty sure it's
I
paid.
don't think there was enough money to go through that, because that is this. Sit down, guys, and bear with me. He's pulling up. I don't. What is it? Is it like a Google form that the applications? They probably have a website. Whatever. He's having to go in the application. He has to pull up all your information. Okay, now he has to get on the computer. He's going through Twitter. He's going through Kick or Twitch or TikTok or whatever your social media platforms are. He's having to watch videos real quick. Now do that over and over 700 plus times. Holy shit. Right? Your brain's gonna rot. I'm sorry, but because nothing against y'all, but I guarantee you, this is just me, my opinion. All right, you can get mad if you want to. There's no one right answer. This guy is watching probably some subpar or shit content, some brain dead, lazy freaking content. This is boring because, again, everybody presses go live and they think they're instantly content creators, and they're not. You're just streaming. And so 700 times doing that, ugh.
I think the biggest flaw too is they're gonna start inviting people that necessarily do not fit in terms of like a brand risk, because we could probably name about 10 that got accepted that were a brand risk and are in there and like have done like weird shit online, and said some shit that is really frowned upon. I do have to say that, or accused people of things that would probably get you in trouble, and now are going to the event. That's like the other thing that made me is like question is like, did you guys not see this or hear about this? Like, but you see it, but then you see the fish, and you're like, oh no, I can't have a guy that fucks a fish.
I mean, I probably couldn't have a guy that fucks a fish. I'd have to explain that one.
No, but
again, I don't think 20 minutes or however long it was. I know he said roughly 20 minutes, but like, it's not enough for them to make an informed decision.
I think that's the biggest issue, though, is that he only has like 20 minutes to look at these channels, if that. There's 700 plus like candidates to go in, and they only can select 250 of them, or something small. They only can select a small number, and like maybe half of them don't even show up. So you have to pick accordingly to like, we need these creators to show up.
Like, that's where, like, and this is just me thinking, right? And like, okay, you got 700 applications and you can only have 250. Shouldn't you have to look at all 700 before you start picking people? Because what happens if you're like, oh, they're good, and all of a sudden you look down and you got 200 and you still got 400 to go through, and you only got 50 slots? Well, then you got to start, you know what I mean? Like, then it becomes unfair, because what if you get into that 400 and there's people that you saw that might be a better fit than some of that you already selected, but oh wait, I've already sent the acceptance letter out. It's just where it gets weird.
I think it's
again, it's nothing against Bear of Twitch.
Yeah.
It is just a process that will have to improve over time, because it's what I do for a living. Like, my real life job is process improvement, right? If I put something in place and it works and there's a way to make it better, and somebody else points that out, I'm happy. Let me run with it. Let me see if we can make it better, and tell me your idea and let's make it better. That's the part of being humble and being okay with it, and your name doesn't have to be on everything. But like right now, the way I see it, outside looking in, it is a very broken process, and it's not fair to him, and it's not fair to creators.
I do think there is a acceptance of like big creators getting accepted. It makes sense, right? If they're a known creator, accept them. They're going to go to the event. regardless, it just makes you look better if you do accept bigger creators. But once you start getting to the mid-size, smaller creators, that's when you have to be careful, like who you select. And I get it.
Extra critical,
Yeah,
more time,
yeah,
a bigger team, and more time just focused on that. That way, you're not like, yeah, you might have found the one time you look, they've had a week of good tweets, they've had a decent content week, but then you didn't have time to look back the previous week where they're on a fucking downward spiral and accusing or blaming people
yeah.
or doing that weird shady stuff where they're basically kind of guilting people for money because I see it all the time. But like
Give me that
they'll
money.
change. They'll be bad. They'll be fucking falling off the horse for a week, and then the next week they're fine. It's just that stuff that happens, and this you don't get to see it because you got 20 minutes and you got to quickly scope through stuff.
And that, like, it's like, from what I know, it's not his fault, Bears.
Mm-mm.
There's a lot of background information we don't know. He has told me. I cannot publicly say on it, but let's just say it's not a good situation. Uh, but there is room to grow from this, and like that's, I think, why he apologized to me. He sort of realized, like, oops, or I don't know what he realized, but it from my perspective, I think it's the oops, we missed something.
I
And
just appreciate him taking the time to start kind of help, like, because I know you're not the only person he's spoken to, and he's really tried to address the shortcomings of this process, and that's the things I like to see, and I know he's probably ready to take it. And again, it could be like anything with him being the director, and all that. It could be like anything, like even my job in real life. It's it's high expectations and understaffed. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Anywhere in America right now, if you go in, just about it's high production or high needs or high demand and low staffing, and it's one guy freaking struggling, trying to do the best that he can. That's why there is no hard feelings to him. It's the entire situation where the feelings were. It's not a perfect
I
situation, and
did
it's
find out though about DreamHack Atlanta last year that Kick actually sent a list to DreamHack of creators they wanted to go there,
mm-hmm.
and that's why I originally got accepted. They didn't, so I'm assuming they didn't review any of the channels that got accepted or got put
If it
forward.
was a list from
Yeah,
Kick, it's a company saying, "Hey, this is who you need to
yeah.
take," and they're like, "Okay."
There was no. I don't think
Because
there was any process.
obviously, because back then you were the niche of the fish fucking was
Yeah,
more
yeah. It was really
in the
progressive. That's what
streams
made
than
no
it was
sense.
now. Yeah, 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 yeah.
It made no sense, and I was so confused. I was like, I swear, if it's the fish, I'm gonna be like disappointed, not upset, just disappointed because like all they could do is
I
look
will
at
give
my
it to you. You
page.
did call it because you kept saying, "Man, I swear to God, if it's the fish,
Yeah,
I'm gonna lose my mind. If it's the fucking fish." And I'm like,
imagine
how? Because even we were all like, you were in Atlanta, like you got accepted to Atlanta.
it just didn't
It
make
doesn't make
sense.
sense. Yeah, and then all of a sudden it was because I think at the same time, like you said, Kick sent the list, they got accepted. You got to go, or you got the okay to go, and they just didn't have to check anybody because they took Kick's word for it.
Yeah, and disappointed. I wish I did go to that event because it was another last minute invite. I just couldn't get the right pricing in to make it make sense back then. And back then I was in a different financial situation. That's when you, like, people need to realize not every month's a different month for creators, good or bad. But the more months go on, the better things get. At least for my size of creator, like the more we grow, the better things get. And the more we can sacrifice to go to events. And that's why I'm really harping on meeting up with you guys. When I go to Florida, I'm meeting up with a bunch of people that watch me and creators, all alike, and it's going to be an amazing like situation for me to actually meet someone. And then for my actual birthday in May, I'm meeting up with two viewers of mine that have been watching me for a long time. And then I was going to go to Dallas, and that's when I was going to do amazing things, create different content, meet other creators that I've been wanting to meet. But at the same time, it's okay that I didn't go because guess what? We're going to Atlanta. We're going to be in Dreamhack Atlanta. My mod team will be there. We're getting an Airbnb. We're going to have a blast, whether we're in the convention or not. It's still going to be fun.
I was about to say it's Atlanta. There's plenty to do whether
Yeah.
we go to the convention or not.
But I did find out there is a giant fish tank there, we have to go see.
Talking
The
about the aquarium?
Yeah, I guess there's a huge, the world's biggest fish tank or something.
Well, I don't know about that. I know the Georgia Aquarium's there, and then you got the Coke factory.
Yeah, I don't, I don't know. People were just telling me that there's a fish tank there that I had to go see it. So that might
Like
be
at
a
the
trip.
at the convention.
No, not at the convention. I don't know
The
what
only
they were
thing I
talking
can
about.
think, the only thing I can think is the Georgia Aquarium. I don't know any world's
Maybe.
largest fish tank.
Oh, I don't fucking know, but we're going.
They got beluga whales.
Maybe that's what they were talking about. We go fuck a whale, but not at
I got that
DreamHack. Not at DreamHack though. We won't be
one.
fucking anything at DreamHack. Not even a stuffed
um,
animal. I swear.
but
I promise. I'll shake on it. No.
um, so but yeah, so I want to talk about just kind of transition into DreamHack. We got that out. So like this is overall. This is real life. This is everything. So like companies, IRL people, you got to know your worth.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So say no to bad deals. Say no to bad jobs. Say no to crappy raises. Let me tell you about my 3 weeks with this new job that I have. I got hired as an engineer. I got zero training. I got thrown in a corner. I asked about 1,000,001 questions because something that I've always been told is I'm high maintenance but high functioning. I need a lot of attention, but I'm going to get a lot of results for you. It's just part of who I am. I got a crazy drive when it comes to work. Um, so after on the third week, I saw some stuff go down Monday. Didn't like it. It was because of my boss at the time. I basically walked out. Didn't go to work Tuesday. Sent in my resignation on Wednesday. They called me and asked me if I'd come in and talk to them on Wednesday. I have a chat. I work Thursday. By the end of Friday, I got promoted to the warehouse manager.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
As much as you probably didn't want to work there anymore, they kind of, rug tugged you under the desk.
It was over a person, right? Again, though, I wasn't going to become a fall guy, and that's how I walked into that job looking for a job, and I will walk out looking for a job.
Yeah.
That's where at the end of the day, I spent 7 years for a company, giving 150, 200%. I'm talking about I went in on Sundays at 7 a.m. and I left Monday morning at 7 a.m. I was giving myself to this company like it was nobody's business. I was a free hooker on the side of the road for them. I was giving it my all. And at the end of that 7 years, I got promoted multiple times. And all I asked was for just a little bit more money to be paid for the title that I had, to be paid the wages that I should be paid. And I got told no. And from that day, I swear I'd never fucking sacrifice myself for a company if they won't pay me what I feel like I'm worth. And that's something that I'm going to take with me for the rest of my life. And you guys should. You shouldn't take a damn job just because you need it. I promise you. This is America. If you're in America, if not, there's plenty of jobs in this world. You just got to know your worth, and you got to have that confidence. Don't feel like another number. And if they're going to treat you like another number, then they can find somebody else to fill that spot. But it's been a wild 3 weeks.
Granted,
I've
if you
never.
don't have work experience, I don't think you should have this attitude. Build up your resume, build up like who you
At the
are.
same time, yes, don't try to like job hop because they will look at that. When I hire people, I look at that. I look at if you're only going to be here for about 6 months, am I going to put you in a key role, or are you just going to be a guy that helps me get through the day until I got to hire somebody else in 6 months? But yes, build your resume, but you still have to be confident because I'm telling you, you have the right to say no, especially if they're trying to get you to do stuff that's out of your job range. There's a part of being a team player, but there's also a part of protecting yourself because I've seen people get used and abused like a utility knife, and there was never intentions of promoting them or giving them anything more than what the company thought they were worth, and then that beats people down and breaks them. So you got to have that level of confidence, and that's my experience with life and work. And honestly, it's the same thing when it comes to content creating. Stop signing the first deal that hits your debt. You can say no. I promise you, it's not going to be like, oh, they said no, and they go tell every company under the sun, and they're never going to work with you. Um, Sometimes less is more.
Oh yeah.
Less codes. I know some people that are wearing damn discount codes like a badge of honor.
It is funny. It is funny.
They got a Boy Scout sash full of damn discount codes for shit, and I'm like, no.
Like why? Like,
Yeah,
like
it get like, and then there's people getting discount codes for shit that they've never tried or they've never used or they never will use. That'd be like me getting sponsored by tampons. Unless I'm stopping my nose from bleeding, I don't. They don't really serve me a purpose.
like,
So
and granted, like, I understand why people think like, oh, if I'm partnered with this company, it might help me, et cetera, et cetera. Usually, 9 out of 10 times, it won't help you. You really have to connect with a company. You have to enjoy their product. You have to understand what they want out of you and what you want out of them. And if your
mhm.
goals align up, then it will be a right fit. It will be the company that works out for you. And granted, I some people say I have a lot of codes, but I really don't. I have five, I think, five actual codes that people can use. And the companies I work with are great with me. This time last year, I had zero. I felt like when I was transitioning into this, I wouldn't say character, but like brand that I was making, it was hard at first. People really did not understand, like we were talking about the fish fuck. People weren't understanding that, and it was hard for me to get brand deals or even like a simple sponsorship. But at the end of it, it's all working out now. I don't plan on getting a lot of sponsors. I will drop a company if they don't align up with my agenda, and I'm not scared of that. I'm not afraid to drop someone just because, I will drop you if you do not align up with my agenda in future. I partner with these companies based on the future. I believe in them and they believe in me, and that's the biggest thing. If these companies do not believe in you, they don't help you in any way, shape, or form, then what's the point of being there? They have to believe in you for you to believe in them. I don't think that you should go to a company expecting free shit. You have to put in the work and show that you can produce at least content for them, not necessarily being an advertisement billboard for them.
And that's where it comes down to conversations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you start talking to companies, you lay expectations down just like they
Yep.
should lay expectations down. Um, you should go both ways. With it, I think that when you have that conversation, it's like, here's what I expect. I expect, you guys to retweet my going live post at least twice a week or whatever. And just like they should go, okay, well, if we're retweeting your going live post, you should have a picture of our item, or you should once a week do a promotion for our item, things like that. Like, that's a conversation you have to have beforehand, because I'll go ahead and tell you, if you walk into a partnership, affiliation, sponsorship, whatever, with expectations or assuming, because assuming makes an ass out of you and me, um, then you're going to get your feelings hurt, because you have to have that adult conversation to say, hey, as a content creator, here's what I expect from you as a partner. And that partner should look at you and goes, okay, since you're a content creator and I'm your partner, here's what I expect from you. And then you guys agree to it. And then at the same time, it's like a contract. You do your part, they do their part. If they start going down this way, you call their ass out. And if they decide not to come back up, drop them. It's as simple as that.
It's super simple, and like, more than none, companies are willing to work with you if you have a good brand around your personality and show that you actually like the product. It's not that hard. Don't expect free shit. Work for what you want in the company and always be communicative and transparent, because that can destroy the relationship and future relationships of other companies.
Hmm.
I think we've seen a lot of it with some of these companies that have been in the gaming space recently, just being ugly towards creators and not like blatantly lying to them, just to hold them on into the company for like free advertisement per se. And that's just not how things go. And for me, it's like all I do for advertisement is eat the product, drink the product, wear the product on stream, uh, and it's on my website. Everything's through my website now.
It's very rare that that Chippy does a like a big plug for him or throws his code out, because he has the same code. It's Fish Tank on anything that he's sponsored by, but like it's not on his screen. It's not some little emblem hiding in a corner somewhere. It's It's very subtle when people still use this code, right? Because
Yeah.
yeah, companies have to pay to put their name on a damn billboard. Why are they not paying to put their name on you?
Yeah, that's the other thing is like I tell these companies, if you want your logo or anything on my stream like visible, you have to pay me. That's bottom line. You have to pay me. I don't care if I have one viewer or 100. You still have to pay me. Like you have to draw that line, and if they don't get it, they don't get it. That's
Well, a
on
lot
them.
of them do. That's why Chippy has sponsors because they understand it because they have marketing teams that understand. Some of you guys just get so or so hungry for it and so thirsty that you want to. And don't get me wrong, like there is the going above and beyond. That is okay. I will never doubt. Like, if you really believe in a company and you go above and beyond, that is your decision and you go for it. Do you right? Do whatever makes you happy. But at the same time, you're gonna burn yourself out. You're not gonna get what you think you're gonna get in return, and you're gonna hurt yourself. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna hurt your feelings and it's gonna hurt your pride. I've been there. I've went all out for a company, and I still like their product, but at the end of the day, I felt like I got burned. I had a conversation with the owner and all that, and we squared things away. But at the end of the day, that's what made me decide to say, hey, you know what? I want to focus on me, and so I dropped all sponsors. I was kind of done for a little while, and I just want to focus on me and be unbiased.
And from what I
And
know, respectively to the companies he was working with, you guys fucked up. Respectively, from what I know, that's on you. This is a great creator. He's gonna grow. He's gonna have big things in the future, and you let him slip by, and that's on you. I do think you guys did not appreciate Wolf. This is not directing it towards anyone because there was multiple that you dropped. I know from talking to you, like you were passionate about these companies, but they weren't giving you anything. They kept lying to you. They kept telling you excuses after excuses, and like at the end of the day, you got to worry about yourself, your own brand, and what you see in the future. And like kudos to you, bro. Like you nodded up and told them to shut the fuck up. This is my brand. You're
I
causing my reputation on the line at this point, and you told them what's going on. And now look at you. I feel like you're in a better headspace. You don't have this like heavy weight over your shoulder now, and I feel like you feel more free to do what you want to do, and not
I
someone
do.
in your
I
ear
do.
saying, "Oh, why'd you say this? Why'd you say that?" Like just hidden remarks, and it's like if you're so worried, go fix your fucking company. How about that? Just
And
saying.
I appreciate that.
And if the
I
shoe
appreciate it.
fits, if you're listening, then the shoe fucking fits. All right, that's all I gotta say. I would go into it more deep, but as a respect for Wolf, he told me not to, because I could go on a
I've made
real
it very
tangent
clear.
about this.
I've made it very clear. I'm not a big go online and bash people. I addressed my situation. There's a few people that know that what happened, and like I said, I talked to the owner. We addressed it, and I'm done. Other creators have went other ways, and they've opened it up and spoke freely on it. That's your call. At the end of the day, I still seen people saying they wanted to get with the said company, and I've said I wish nothing but the best for you. I've even kind of thrown a vouch in there because if I respect you as a creator and that's the path you want to take, do it. But from my experience, I'm one of those people that did go in and give 110% for a company. I put everything that I could. And I felt like in the end, I got zero recognition. And because I wasn't a bigger creator or I didn't have that green check mark, or that's the way my perception was. And after talking, things happen and it is what it is. We're past that. I told the company I wish nothing but the best for them in their future. I still enjoy their product. I still have a lot of it. But at the end of the day, I feel free, and I've separated myself to where I could just do what I want, and I don't mean like say what I want so I can start saying crazy shit and hurting people's feelings. I'm a very open and honest person. I'm very transparent, and I'll say what I feel and how I feel, whether you align with it or agree with it or not. And I think that's what's going to help me and Chippy take the podcast to another level because he doesn't have his sponsors aren't like questioning everything he says because they signed on with a fish fucker. I promise you, we're free to speak here.
And like
Um,
so, like full transparency, like they support this shit. Like my sponsors are all for it. They want me to give them shout outs on this show, even though like we just started.
yeah,
And that's why you see me drinking F3 can on stream, because I respect F3. Whether you guys don't, that's on you. From my experience with them, they've never done me any harm. They always been transparent with me. Yeah, they're a busy company. You know, it takes time for them to reply, and you got to respect that. I think that's another issue with
Oh,
creators.
we live in a world of zero patience
Yeah,
because
like zero patience at all.
Amazon can deliver same day to some people, and fast food, and now you got the online orders and DoorDash and all this shit where people expect it's a high demand, and at the same time it's this people don't even want ads anymore. Like that's the
Yeah,
fucking conversation on Twitch where they don't even want ads, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I grew up like I remember it's a fucking 20-minute TV show, and you got 10 minutes of ads in there, right? You'd get fucking 5 minutes of the TV show and then 2 minutes of ad, 5 minute TV show and 2 minutes of ads. You know what I mean? And all these people are like fucking. It's just patience, guys, patience and understanding. Now, if you go a week and you get no reply and you do a follow up and then another week and then another week, yeah, get upset. You
yeah,
are hey
yeah.
anything past like the second week, they're kind of fucking you.
And if it's like an emergency thing, at least a day or two.
Yeah.
Especially on a weekend. Most of the time,
Yes.
they're not in the fucking office.
Do
Let's
not message us something on the weekend and expect customer service support because I don't know really anywhere that works weekends unless it's like
a big corporate company. Yeah,
or internet and TV
yeah.
or phones. Those are the three that will run customer service on the weekend because those are in constant use. Anything else really? Sorry.
They'll say close until Monday.
Eight
Literally.
Monday through Friday, 8 to 5.
Yep. I think that's like the norm anywhere.
Yeah.
Besides like big corporate companies that were like, oh, we
That
have to
might be
have
like
this.
8 to 8, or they have an offset schedule to account for all the time zones.
Yeah, and respectfully, that's okay. And I just feel like as a consumer and a creator on this platform, we need to respect that as much as they need to respect us. Like it's a two-way street. But there are things like when you're with a company and you expect a instant reply, you're not going to get it to an extent.
Also, I want to go into this because we're kind of starting to hit around it. If you get upset with the company that you're working with and you don't get resolutions, but hold on, you followed all chains though. You followed support emails, you followed the proper people to talk to, and you've sent them messages, and you've blatantly been ignored. You're missing stuff. Choose how you decide to leave and attack that company wisely, because at the end of the day there's multiple things you need to look at, and it's worked out for some people, but when you go on bashing a company, other companies do look at that and they do get weary of you, and it's worked out for some people, and there's some people that get put on a blacklist, you know. Be very careful how you do it, be tactful, because at the end of the day you got to be professional. Your brand is at risk when you go on verbal attacks or
Well,
aggressive
that's the other
tweeting.
thing. I don't think you need to do that. Just leave professionally. Tell them best wishes, and that goes a long ways when these other companies look at you. And a lot of creators don't understand that.
Make sure you leave feedback for the company. You know,
Yeah,
like if you're like, all right, I'm separating, and here's why I'm separating. Your shipping times, I have issues with that. You know, you don't have a guarantee, and I've ordered stuff and it's gotten here in 3 days, and then all of a sudden it's set in your warehouse for 10 days, and it's. But make sure it's not USPS or UPS for the first off. Okay, my issue is I will see the shit get put on a truck, and it'll start getting close to my house, and then that shit will end up somewhere else. That is a fucking mailing problem. But if they label is created on Monday and it is the next Monday, so a week later, 7 days, and it's still showing label created and it's not fucking moved and sitting in that warehouse, that is a you problem. That is a company problem.
hmm
You should have a process to where once you print that label, it's either going out that day or first thing the next day. I work in logistics. I've been shipping my whole life. I promise you, if I let something sit for a week like that, I'd have my ass chewed and no job.
and
Um,
it's really that
that's
simple.
yeah. But so make sure, like, I get very frustrated. Like, okay, like, prime example, I won some perfections from a streamer. They were supposed to be here Thursday. They got stuck in Tennessee for 2 days, and they just showed up today. Shit happens, man.
And that's
I
not
had
on the company. That's
no,
on
and I
shipping.
didn't get mad at the company. And it's just something I've learned to deal with. I've kind of got to. My buddy Herbal sent me a package. He sent me the McKnuckle dusters and all that. That shit sat in Atlanta from March 11th, and it didn't get to my house until April 1st. And I live an hour and a half from
Damn,
Atlanta.
buddy. If you do go to
So
Perfection, go get some shark bites.
they're very good. I've eaten a shitload of perfections. They're so
Very
good.
good. Use code Fish Tank. Help a veteran family. I don't get any money from it, but it'll help a veteran family.
Yes. But yes, guys, know your worth. Don't just accept anything, but be professional and be serious about it. And I think it'll work out for you. And then we talked about dream hacks and things like that.
Yeah, and like it goes back circle to DreamHack. You got to respect the company. DreamHack was built off gamers. Land events, people bringing their PCs to these events just to meet other, people alike. And I think a lot of this we look past that and the whole like beauty of it all. And like it doesn't have to be here. They don't have to invite creators. This is just reiterating like the entitlement thing. Like I respect DreamHack, I respect what they do, but don't you dare ever call me entitled. And this goes for a lot of creators that I have spoken to that have the same ideology as me with going to these events. They might not be as big as me, or they might be bigger. It's just for me as a creator, if I'm going anywhere or partnering with any company, I want them to respect my brand. And if it's a brand risk, that's on them. If they don't talk to me beforehand, I really don't know what to tell them. And to reiterate this, I did get invited to DreamHack Dallas. They did ask me if I wanted to go. I politely declined it as I've already changed my plans. I had a plan B, but not everyone has a plan B. I'm just always two steps ahead of the situations.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just because I've been burned. I've been in that situation where I've been burned and I'm just like, what do I do now? How do I fix this? And it's a rough situation for a lot of people, and just always have a plan B. It doesn't matter what's going on. Like even with content, even with your stream, always have a plan B. I have something
Well,
backed up.
yeah, because like you might plan to stream with somebody and then they have something come up. Okay, well then how do we change this up and switch to a new game or whatever?
Yeah.
But like with all this, with companies, with DreamHack, all of this, guys, this is just me talking to you guys. Remember, we are humans. We make mistakes. Communicate, talk to people, help them see if you don't like what they're saying or you don't agree with their viewpoint, have a conversation and then agree to disagree. There's no one right answer because my world is different from your world.
Yeah.
Same with me and Chippy. We've had different experiences. We see things differently. Just don't be cruel. Don't attack. Try to understand. Try to look outside the box, and just have healthy conversations, and we can all grow and move on. This was a misunderstanding. A little bit of communication. We've all grown and we've all moved on.
Yeah, and I'm excited to go to these DreamHack events. I have expressed that to Bear. All like, I fucking love the guy at this point. Like he's from the conversations I had, he fits right into the fish tank. I just think the lack of support he has and the lack of like time. I did talk to him about that. Hopefully, it will be fixed for Atlanta, where creators can apply sooner, just to have that planning of getting accepted. Oh, now I can plan to go to the event. I really don't know how many slots they'll have open, but I do know that is one of the things I did talk to him about is like the whole like time frame. The time frame was the biggest thing, and I do appreciate him doing the denial letters because that does help creators. Like, oh, I didn't get in. It's okay. Let's go back. But I feel like the denial letters should be sooner. Just like approval letters should be sooner for these creators and myself alike.
Well, it comes down to like the planning and stuff.
Yeah.
Like we talked, it's hotels start raising the price, especially when they know there's a convention. And I don't know what else might be going on that weekend. And so then you're
There
looking
could
at
be
limited
multiple conventions going on. That's the thing. It's like it could be so backed up where the hotels are like, oh, I'm gonna make an easy fucking dollar over
Or
here.
even that, like they could all be booked up, and then you get your thing 2 months before, and you go and look, and there's nowhere to stay near it, and then you start
Hmm.
having to push out to Marietta and Kennesaw. Now you're driving in a place you don't know, and traffic's awful, and parking and parking costs there because there's not a lot of free parking. And then nothing. This is just me living in Georgia. There's some shady parts in Atlanta that if you park your car in, well, I'm not making any promises.
The car might not be there when you come back.
That's a fair one.
Or it
So,
might not have tires on it. One of the two, right?
but we'll see. We'll see. That's what we live and we learn and we grow.
But no, this was a great episode 3. We do appreciate you guys listening to all this. we will have a couple more interviews, and we really are trying to get Rec on. It's just like time frame and everything. He will come on soon. It's just we don't know when. But I do have some companies coming on. I have pre-planned this. They should be talking with us shortly here soon. But I don't know when the next episode will be because I am pretty booked this next like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I'll be pretty booked in terms of like episodes. But we might crank one out here soon just to fill in like the gaps. But we hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Of course, like, subscribe, retweet. I don't fucking care. Do whatever you want with us. You know, make a video out of us. But we do hope this educates you guys at the end of it, and I appreciate you guys. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace out.
Later. Peace.
Welcome to the ELCHIPPYY stream. We are the Pirates of the Caribbean. I'll take credit in that one. I'll take. And I'll be like,
Do a cocktail.
oh my god. Oh, you thought that was protein semen. I can't promote drugs.